Now on Newsday TV, another dangerously cold morning, but there's a bit of a warm-up this week. Thanks for joining us. I'm Macy Egland. We'll have more on the weather coming up, but first, Long Island will be in the state's political spotlight tonight. It's day one of the Republican Convention at the Garden City Hotel. The party will announce nominees for the upcoming election, including Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman for governor. Coming up in 2 minutes, we break down the challenges Blakeman faces in his bid to unseat Governor Hochul. No word yet what caused a fire that killed a woman in Plainview. Police say the 67-year-old was trapped inside this Sutton Drive home Saturday morning. Investigators do not believe the fire was suspicious. A Quorum woman is accused of driving drunk and crashing into a snowplow. Police say Erica Jackson crossed into oncoming traffic yesterday morning on Middle Country Road in Middle Island. She was seriously hurt. The snowplow driver had minor injuries. See Newsday's year-long investigative series looking at Long Island's dangerous roads on our website, newsday.com. First in Newsday, Long Islanders lacing up their skates at Hempstead Lake State Park. For the first time in decades, McDonald Pond is open to skating. Maybe a bright spot in all this cold, right? It'll be open 7 days a week as long as that ice remains safe. Make sure to bring your own skates. Former Jets quarterback Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks are celebrating a Super Bowl win today. Seattle beat the New England Patriots 29-13 in Super Bowl 60 last night in California. And Bad Bunny celebrated Puerto Rican culture with his halftime show. Several A-list stars joined him, including Lady Gaga, Ricky Martin, Jessica Alba, and Pedro Pascal. 2026 really off to a great start for the singer. Last week, he won a Grammy for Album of the Year. Good show. All right, let's talk about your Monday weather now. We finally get above freezing this week. That's the good news, but we do have to deal with one more brutally cold day. Anyone else's pipes frozen? Mine are. Let's talk about today. It's topping out temperatures in the upper 20s. Yes, another very cold day. A cold weather advisory is in effect for most of the morning, making it feel like the single digits. Tomorrow, temps are in the mid to upper 30s, so a bit of a bump up. Take a look at this, though, in your 7-day forecast. Sun returns later in the week with temps above freezing. I'm looking at you, Wednesday. That 40 is looking real nice. Sunday, though, we are, again, tracking the chance for some rain and snow. But hey, let's hold on to Wednesday right now. That looks great.
Long Island weather is brought to you by PTRC.
Republicans are set to nominate their candidates for this coming election. The convention is being held here on Long Island in Garden City. At the top of the ticket is Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman. He became the clear frontrunner to challenge Governor Kathy Hochul after upstate Congresswoman Elise Stefanik dropped her bid for the nomination. So what are the challenges Blakeman faces and what can we expect to hear out of the convention? Newsday TV political analyst Joy Brown and political consultant Mike DeWiziak are here with me now. And Mike, we start with you. So what are some talking points that we're going to hear?
Well, what you're going to hear is Bruce Blakeman starting his campaign and starting to be more of a, not only just a centrist, but more of a geographical strategy, moving out to, again, now once you get out of New York City, New York State is comprised of towns and villages. And he's got a lot of really good talking points. Kathy Hochul has twice gone after home rule, local zoning control, and that is anathema to the suburbs. And this is where the race can be won or lost. So I think you're going to see him expanding a more, not only centrist message, but more of a broad geographical message. Mm-hmm. Conventions are a time where you get the microphone to yourself. It's not a debate situation. You get to get your talking points out very clearly. He's going to start talking about getting rid of cashless bail. He'll talk about the city Democrats' progressive policies having gone too far. And I think you're going to hear the name Mondami mentioned a lot. That's the Democratic punching bag as far as the Republicans are concerned, and they're going to keep swinging. So I think you're going to hear all of that messaging. and just talking about the progressive policies of the New York City Democrats just having gone too far.
And what about immigration?
Well, I think you're going to see again more of a moderate view, moving a little bit. I mean, he's not going to disassociate from ICE, but he already is taking a point of the worker program. So talking points like we're not going to waste money on people who've been here for 15 minutes, but people who have invested in the community and have been here for a long time should be able to stay through a worker program. So he's already taking a more moderate point of view.
Now, Joy, let's stick with immigration, because Newsday recently published an article analyzing how Blakeman needs to be careful with the issue of immigration, given the shift in public opinion about the Trump administration's crackdown. How do you feel?
Well, he's got a difficult road to hoe here. He's not backing away from supporting or having the county support what ICE is doing, but we are, as Mike mentioned, hearing some moderation in what he's talking about. The biggest one I hear is when he's saying that some people who are here illegally should be able to stay. Those who have been here for a while, those who are contributing. He has also talked about a workers program, but he's been talking about a workers program for years. The significant change here is people who are here illegally, some of them should be allowed to stay. Also, he'll have a chance on immigration to go after Hochul, who has proposed a statewide ban on local police working with ICE. Bruce Blakeman defends what Nassau County is doing with ICE, and he thinks that that's something that's necessary.
And what about the opinion on Trump's crackdown?
The opinion on Trump's crackdown, I think that's maybe one reason why he's talking about having some people stay. We haven't heard him come out and say what's happening there is terrible. What we have heard him come out to say is what's happening there is terrible because the public officials there don't speak highly enough of the police. Totally different view on it.
And Mike, what kind of attacks are we going to hear about Blakeman and the Republicans?
Well,
coming out, at least, from Blakeman and the Republicans.
Well, once again, I think you're going to hear more attacks on Donald Trump than you are Bruce Blakeman. The Democrats have their punching dummy as well, and that's Donald Trump. So I think you're going to hear a lot more attacks on Donald Trump and trying to tie Blakeman to Trump and his more extreme policies.
Joey, my question for you is, what can Blakeman hope to accomplish at this convention?
Well, look, he's following a game plan that Lee Zeldin threw down 4 years ago when he all came very, very close, very, very close to being our first Republican governor in a very, very long time. But again, as Mike has said, Bruce is going to have the microphone to himself. I should say the county executive is going to have the microphone to himself. He gets to introduce himself. Not a lot of people around the state know who this guy is. We do, but they don't. The other thing he gets to do is he gets to define himself, to have other people look at him not as the Nassau County executive, but as the good candidate, the best candidate for the governor of the state of New York.
Now, Mike and Joy, what is the symbolism of the convention being on Long Island? Mike, we'll start with you first.
Well, I think it's probably a very strategic pick. I mean, it's a place where it's going to generate a lot of excitement to his base. And look, this is a home game for him. He's in front of a hometown crowd. You could probably generate not only a lot of enthusiasm, but also, he can use this now as the platform to say, okay, we're not in New York City. That would strategically not be the right look, So he can use this strategically to not only gin up his base, but also kind of make those connections to those upstate towns and villages who probably feel more as Long Islanders do and will than people in New York City.
Enjoy the symbolism of having a convention here?
Well, symbolism, I mean, you got to have it here. New York, and especially Long Island, we're going to become pivotal, not just in the race for governor, the city-state conflict, city-suburb conflict, but also in the balance of power in Congress. We have 2 congressional seats up here that Republicans desperately want one of them, and Democrats want both of them. I should say Republicans want both of them as well. So if he can set a good scene here, if he can get people excited about Republicans and the Republican Party and what Republicans have to offer, it's not just New York that he hopes will go Republican, but also that Long Island will have a say in the balance of power once again in Congress.
It's going to be a very interesting race. Thank you, both Joy and Mike. Thank you for sharing your expertise with our viewers. Now, for comprehensive coverage on the race for governor and all the issues that affect your life, stay with Newsday TV and Newsday.com.
Out East with Doug Geed is brought to you by Connect One Bank, a better place to be.
It's one of the island's most popular attractions. But the Long Island Aquarium isn't just fish. Let's head out east with Doug Geed.
These are two of the original sharks that were part of this exhibit when it opened more than 25 years ago. And believe it or not, they were swimming in Long Island waters before being brought here. I'm Doug Geed, out east for Newsday TV. Let's pay a visit to the Long Island Aquarium in Riverhead. From the playful to the curious to the bizarre looking, the animals at the Long Island Aquarium have attracted hundreds of thousands of visitors from across Long Island and literally the world. Sharks are definitely one of the most popular attractions, and while you may think they're the most menacing creatures here, these serene-looking corals are arguably much more vicious.
So corals are animals. They have sweeper tentacles loaded with stinging cells, so they will sting and kill their neighbors. So it's a very competitive world. It looks very static when we're looking at it. You're like, oh, this is really beautiful. And it is, but it's a very dynamic, aggressive world.
Then there's the less aggressive.
This is Pam.
Pam was the first penguin hatched at the aquarium. She just celebrated her 16th birthday and now has plenty of companions.
Oh, everybody's so different. You know, it's part of the reason why I think I fell so in love with them, because their personalities are so far ranged. Then we do have birds out there that are a little extra spicy, you know, and everywhere in between.
And while most of the inhabitants here swim, others fly.
We house up to 150 species of butterfly. At any given time, we'll have between 600 and 800 individuals.
The butterfly, bugs, and bees exhibit is in a tranquil 80-degree room.
What's the reaction of people who come in here, especially like the little kids?
We hear gasps when they walk through the door because it's so exciting and up close and personal. You're really immersed in a different world when you enter this room.
It's massive compared to when we first opened. We've been adding new habitats throughout the years. We're on 3.2 acres. We also have the hotel next door and the marina with the canoe and kayak rentals, so it's definitely a destination.
In Riverhead for Newsday TV, I'm Doug Geed.
Love the aquarium, and that butterfly room is perfect for this cold weather. It's so nice and warm in there. You can see more Out East with Doug Geed segments on our website, Newsday.com. Click Get More below that Newsday TV video box. Only in Newsday, the island is no stranger to monster winter storms. We've been buried under feet of snow decade after decade, and Newsday has been there to document it all. It's this week's Picture This. Listen, I am sick and tired of this winter weather, and my guess is you probably are too. And I think it's because we're just not used to it.
Newsday has been documenting our snowstorms for decades. The last really significant snow we've seen was in 2016, 29 inches reported in Hicksville and 26 in Comac. At one point, it was coming down at 6 inches an hour in some spots. But our location right on the coast makes these storms difficult to forecast.
It's always a very complicating thing here for meteorologists because we're always right on that edge. Is it going to be all snow? Is it going to be snow changing to rain or sleet? And that's the trick, trying to figure that out.
And those snow totals can be drastically different, even just a few miles apart.
Here on Long Island, North Shore, South Shore, East End, in towards the city, it's like two different climate regimes.
But it seems no matter where you are, every 10 years, the whole island gets clobbered. Before 2016, it was 2006. And 1996, when a typical coastal snowstorm dumped over 2 feet of snow.
Paralyzing the island for a couple of days. You know, people were stranded on some of the highways. LIR shut down, we lost power.
So yes, we've been here before, and frankly, we've been pretty lucky. Our winters have been warmer on average, and the big snowstorms have been few and far between. But 2026 could potentially be one for the record books.
We've been fortunate, and perhaps our luck is running out, at least for the short term, because February is usually our snowiest month. Keep that snow shovel handy.
Seriously? Ugh.
Reporting for Newsday TV.
I am so sick of this snow. Next year, I'm getting a snowblower because this has just it's been too much. To see more, picture this segments on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. See more on these stories on Newsday.com and watch us streaming anytime on Local Now, YouTube, and the other streaming services you see here. I'm Macy Eglund. We've got more local news coming up.
Newsday investigates the story of two brothers brought to the U.S. as children who were deported by ICE last May with no criminal record. From Long Island to El Salvador, desperate to return to their American lives. Deported, now available at Newsday.com.